Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Shut Door Shutter, coming back to you with a brand new episode of the Craftiverse SMP as I'm trying to go through this very intentionally carved out tunnel. Welcome, this is episode 2, and we are transporting a villager back towards our base, and I've already got one villager in place, but I needed a second one so we could actually kind of start breeding these guys, and I'm pulling them away from the village they were at, which I didn't even show on camera. But there are several villages, and I found one that actually had some inhabitants still left, and so I've taken 2 of them, and this guy is going to be lucky number 2, and we're going to get to building a villager breeder this episode, and hopefully, by the end of this, we'll have the ability to get some enchantments and maybe some fletching villagers and emeralds and all of that fun stuff. But I will need to figure out how to get a zombie to convert these guys. That is going to be the fun part. Alright, so we're actually here to drop this second villager off. We're going to quickly tie up this back end so we actually don't have him escaping that way. And he should basically just try and go forward. It may take a little bit. We may have some visitors. But there's a boat at the end of this, so he should kind of just go towards it. And hopefully, we will have 2 villagers up in this direction. There he goes. Come on. But this is the fastest way I found for both villagers, really, was to just kind of have them have a path to navigate. And it seems like it'll work. And then, of course, the first villager's up here in his little thing. I think if I were to place a work block down, maybe 2, because there's that guy, he may be more enticed to come this way. Oh, are you kidding me? How unfortunate. How unfortunate, huh? Okay. What am I gonna do with this shenanigans? Hold on, let me get back in there. I'll place 2 boats. Knock this one back out. Place it back down. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be the location we're going to farm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's going to be a wall basically from this source block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then once we get... Actually, I guess I could technically move this guy out for right now. I need him away from the center, basically. So let's go... Need to make sure I don't knock his health down any lower than it already is. His health is pretty low because he got shot a couple times by skeletons, just like that. Alright, so this is the basic construction of what we've got going on, right? This is a normal 9x9 farm. That 9x9 farm, which is actually messed up. I just realized that. I will fix that. This wall is too close. Don't 100% know how I miscalculated that, but that's okay. But yeah, so this farm is going to be self-sufficient. You don't need to do anything. You basically plant everything. You get the farmer villagers. They harvest all the crops, then they get breeding, and it is fantastic. I forgot that I also need to do one more thing here, which is grab some birch planks, because that's the wood I use for the trapdoors, and grab just a handful more of those, because we're actually going to place these right here, I do believe. I think I'm actually mistaken. Hold on. Let me turn this off for a second. Oh, just turn on like cinematic camera or something for a second there. X. Because I'm pretty sure what this is supposed to be is like a 2-block gap where the adults can't go out. So let's do this. So I'm pretty sure it's this that I'm missing. And then you just align trapdoors. So that way an adult couldn't come out of here. I think. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Apparently, no matter how many times I do this, I forget a lot of things. But This is actually how it's supposed to be. So you've got trapdoors. You can make this as wide as you want, really, but I'm just going to do it 3 just because there's no real point making it bigger. One of the things that we can do now is, of course, place a torch there. Make sure all the torches are placed in the corners. This also needs one more set of torches here because you need some in the middle. Mostly because this is all enclosed. Makes it a little bit easier, a little bit safer for your villagers. And this is the way I think I've done it every time I've made this farm. But I now need to go grab a hoe and till the ground, get some carrots, which are back at the base. You just need 80 carrots to fill a 9x9 farm, which is 64 plus 16. And that should be fantastic. So, the upper portion of this is basically set, right? It's complete, it's set. The next thing we need to do is actually work on the waterway, which is actually what this will be. So what I recommend is getting this as far away from your villager breeding area as you can. That's reasonable, right? So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to push them out towards the ocean, actually, which will be in the way I'm thinking is kind of creating a villager breeding area set above water or like on the water, so that way we actually have less mobs and stuff, and we have kind of a free area to build. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. This was all the tunneling stuff for the villagers. I'm gonna get this removed here, but for the most part, this is going to be pretty simple, I think, to push it out. We're just gonna have to have an area where they come up. So we're going to have to be a little creative. And I may look at the blocks that we're using for the villager breeder and maybe make it look a little nicer. But this is something that's kind of more functionality over form. And maybe I could recess this into the ground or something at a later date and move on with it. But I'm not 100% sure. So with that, I'll be right back whenever I get the waterway stuff done. There's nothing really too complicated with it. You just need to make sure that you're pushing them to wherever you need to go, and at the end I can come back and show you kind of a separator that I think I've done once, I believe, and that did work out pretty well because it separates the babies from the adults, and that way you don't have to worry about accidentally grabbing a baby whenever you go to put them in a minecart or a boat or whatever you're using. That is fantastic. So be right back whenever I get that going. Alright, so real quick, we're going to place down another portal. I've actually not went to the nether yet, but I need to get some soul sand for bubble elevators. So what's happening is down here, I've ran plenty of water streams. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to basically get under enough to then, so right here, to then launch them up to the surface, which I think I'm still not far enough down. So I need to look at potentially doing something better. I think actually right now the level I'm at is good because I'm more under the water, so I should be able to go straight and then up, and then that way I could build a platform or whatever I decide to do for the villagers. Of course, we're going to have to stagger the bubble elevators and all that stuff so they don't drown, but we are looking at that. We're going to get this figured out, and I'm just needing flint and steel, which should be in here. So let's pop over here, see if we can grab some soul sand, and like, oh, we spawned in another fortress. Okay, this is not what I was expecting. Not at all. Ah, crap. Probably gonna die here. Okay. I just need soul sand, but I think I've spawned above lava, which is not a fun thing. So what I'm going to do is actually create a height difference, because then wither skeletons, if I retreat, should not be able to get me. So let's just 3-block tall this, because remember, skeletons are 2.5 blocks tall, so they cannot cross under this, which is fantastic. Okay, we got some nether wart. The only other case scenario I can see is if we can find one of those, like, netherwart rooms. Ooh, there's actually some right there. I think Riri is actually AFKing at her skeleton farm. Which, I mean, you do you kind of thing. Because she's been hitting skeletons. So she's probably got a handful of skulls and everything, too. Okay. How much soul sand did we grab from that? 13 pieces? I think that should be good. Let's see. Yeah, because this is a dead end. So I'm going to head back and get this bubble elevator going. So we're going to probably do multiple. I don't know how much I can actually do before they start drowning. But I think we should have enough to just kind of start, and then I'll grab some more. Because I don't really need too much from the nether. I just came here for the soul sand, so. Alright, so real quick here, we're making a bubble elevator, and we're using kelp to do so. This should allow for us to create full source blocks, and we're just going to use signs to block that off. So we may have like a point of slowness here, but that's okay by me. They should still funnel into here, and this should now be full source blocks, which is fantastic, so let's get rid of that. Let me go up for oxygen here real quick. And I guess I put my soul sand away. Goodness gracious. I am terrible at this. Be right back. Alright, so we are getting to work on setting up the actual villager portion of this, because I've got the water flow and everything, and I'll show you that here in a second. But we're just going to get all of this planted down. Of course, we've got 2 farms. And one of the good things is kind of leaving this empty for a second, so we can actually make sure their pockets are empty. Just like how this guy just dropped all of his plants. That should allow for both of these guys to become empty, because we need that actually. So, let's get rid of all this guy's wheat seeds, because wheat seeds are not what we need here. We actually want carrots. Let's make sure, I think that guy may have picked stuff up. But we're just using carrots. You could use potatoes in this case as well if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter. The biggest difference is just the plant type, right? There's nothing else. The reason you can't use wheat seeds is because they do not breed with wheat. They breed with bread. And so if you had a way to automate bread, you know, pull the crops from underground using like a minecart, hopper, whatever, you could technically do that, but carrots and potatoes are instant, and I don't know anything about beets. I honestly have never messed with those, so we're going to step out here, but this should be what you need for the villagers to start breeding, because of course there is 3 beds, so I built a bridge across to this little platform here, and this should be good. Let me move this button. And so they're going to basically end up here. And what I've done is kind of separated these guys quite easily. Oh, I forgot we're on water. Hold on. Let me place this block down and swim back over here because that was my mistake. Should be able to hop up here. Perfect. So we've got the water source. I think I have my axe here. Silk Touch axe. So what should happen is we've got the bubble elevator going to this block right there. We've got 1, 2, and then main source of water. So the adults should be able to reach the to this block, but the babies should not. So we're gonna have them bobbing up and down, which is actually where the extreme muffle or muffle sound mod comes in here, because we can actually, whenever the villagers pop up here, we can actually turn off the noise and everything. So we can actually go and set an anchor here and just get rid of the bubble column. And that should be good. We'll make sure we'll test it and everything. But for the most part, this is going to be the villager trading hall. We're going to run a mine cart somewhere around here and then pull villagers out. And we're going to have librarians. We're going to have mending books. We're going to have all of that fun stuff. And I don't know 100% if anybody else is doing this. But I also want to throw some fletching villagers in there so we can actually get some emeralds and stuff. But for the most part, this is complete. This also does need a roof. The only other portion that we need to worry about is later down the line with villager conversion, because we don't actually currently have that. And the villager conversion stuff will allow for us to get emeralds, or spend less emeralds per book and stuff like that. So that'll be fantastic. But overall, this is not too complicated, and I think this will be a fantastic thing. And we can actually free cam this here real quick to show you the water channel. So there is quite a lot of depth to this just to get under that water. And once it hits that point, it then shoots up with the bubble elevator up into this point. So nothing extremely fancy or anything like that, but it'll work. And then we can maybe make this taller instead of out, which I don't really care if we go out. It doesn't really matter. But for right now, this is working. This is fantastic. But I think for now, what we're going to do is we are going to quickly cut to a clip of me and Fallen Pumpking trying to get a zombie villager trapped. And then I think we'll come back. We'll wrap this episode up. And we will mess with all of the shenanigans that that we can in the next episode. So, be right back. Ooh, there's a zombie villager.
Ooh, don't kill him. Don't kill him. I gotta trap him.
Yeah, I wish I had my weakness potions and all that stuff.
I'm just gonna name him name tag. I've been waiting to see one of these. All right, dude. How are we gonna trap you?
Ow! Nope, that didn't work.
Oh. Here. Can you just run in circles? And I'm just gonna make a simple door trap. All right, let's just lead him in.
Oh.
Come on, dude.
That's another thing, is like mob aggro is like
Oh my
really
God.
strict on this. I hope they got another zombie coming around.
Oh my gosh, I can't trap this guy. Oh, I built the trap wrong anyway.
I got an evil baby zombie.
Got him.
Okay, we probably need to sleep.
Oh, yeah, don't let him burn.
You get zombies.
Just trying to name the one guy.
That covered his head, so he...
Okay, safe.
Okay, you want to sleep real quick, because I don't want to set my spawn here. Alrighty, so, with that, that was a fun little thing that was kind of just out there. I wasn't really meaning to record too much with him. It was just that happened, and I thought that was going to be just a little funny thing because we both miserably failed at doing that until we finally got the villager into a hole. And man, it's good to see him back on a server that we're playing on, and genuinely enjoyed that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.